What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, Shane Mosley Jr. versus Danny Jacobs. This was a good win for Shane Mosley Jr. for a couple of reasons. For one, Danny Jacobs is past his prime. I remember I saw his the last fight I saw him have was against John Ryder. Man, he looked slow. He looked heavy. He's not the same. Okay. Now, Shane Mosley Jr. winning a unanimous decision is what was supposed to happen. Because if he struggled with him, then it doesn't say anything good about Shane Mosley Jr. So it was a good win for the fact that he won and won it unanimously. And pretty much there's still people that felt like Danny Jacobs was still dangerous. So for Shane Mosley Jr. to go in there and shut him out and win every round pretty much, then it's like, at least it gives the illusion that, he's... the thing is, Shane Mosley Jr., he's decent, man. He beat Gabe Rosado. He beat him, Danny Jacobs. Those are the two more notable names on his resume. Now, the thing about Gabe Rosado is he loses a lot. He's like the Derek Chisora, of 168, man. Gabe Rosado will lose even if the fight is a good fight, but he just ends up losing. So, for Shane Mosley Jr., this is the type of level of fighters that he need to fight to try to help build his name. Now, he's 33 years old, so he's no spring chicken, okay? Danny Jacobs is 37. And Danny Jacobs hadn't fought in 2 years. There was no reason for Shane Mosley Jr. to not win this fight. But things do happen. Hey, but he won the fight. So, he wants to fight Lara, who's 41. Now, he's calling him out. What he's doing is calling out names of fighters that's past their prime, but still fighting. So, should he beat these names? Well, he have their names on his resume, but they're no longer what they used to be. Now, he's saying he want to be undisputed middleweight champion, but he's fighting at 168 pounds. But he's saying he wants to be undisputed middleweight. Okay, instead of super middleweight. So I guess he means super middleweight. But either way, I still don't see Shane Mosley Jr. beating a top level fighter. I mean, he's supposed to try. He's supposed to want these fights. And for him, it's, they're not getting any younger. I think because he got a later start in boxing, that it's like, because he has 4 losses. I think that it's like for him, he's a little more fresh than other fighters that's his age because he has less fights, less wear and tear. But I don't know, man. If he can at least put up a good fight against the top guys, even if he loses, I don't know. I just don't see him as top level. I just don't. Listen, I'm not wishing it on him that he can't beat them, but just saying, and him saying, I beat a 2-time middleweight champion, and he's saying that it's like, yeah, you did that, but this isn't the same Danny Jacobs. It's not about excuses, it's just the reality. It's not the same Danny Jacobs, So I don't know, even though he won, it's honestly, it's kind of like Blair Cobb beating Adrian Broner. You were supposed to. You were supposed to. Now, the other actual elite level guys, let's see what you can do with them. So that's where he is now. It's like, okay, you did that, and notice he's calling out Lara. who's another guy that's well respected, but again, past his prime. So if that fight does happen and he gets the win, I don't know exactly where that puts him next. There's a lot of guys that get opportunities and you don't know who the hell they are. So who knows how things will line up for him. I don't see him, though, like I said, as a top-level guy. But, hey, man, he's trying. He wants to be there. And he even said, like, he's smart enough to know boxing doesn't give a shit about you. He said the first thing happens, if I lose, they're going to be like, oh, he ain't like his father. Fuck him. Which is true. Because even now, every time he fights, when people do talk about it, they always say the same thing. He's not like his dad. Like, they said the same thing about Chris Eubanks. They said it's Jr. They said the same thing about Nigel Benz. Like, bro, it's not about them being like their dads, man. They're not competing with their dad. They're not trying to outdo their dads. They're just basically fighting, doing what they do. And if someone can surpass what their parent did or whatever, then so be it. But, same thing. Floyd Mayweather wasn't competing with his dad, but they just couldn't say that about Floyd, that he wasn't better. I mean, even though you got people that would just say things out of hatred or sheer stupidity, but he definitely was better than his dad. Okay, but it's not about him being compared to his dad. We hear the same thing every time Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. He's not like his dad. Like, how many times do you have to say it? We know they're not like their dads. No. Chavez Jr. is nothing like his dad. Okay, Chris Eubanks, Jr. No, he's not as good as his dad. Nigel Benn isn't as good as his dad. No. People said Layla Ali was living off of her father's name. I'm like, where y'all getting that? Where do y'all come off with? How is she living off her father's name? Y'all the fucking ones always bring up Ali, not her. Y'all the ones always making the comparison. Notice they never said that about Joe Frazier's daughter, who was fighting. George Foreman's daughter, who was fighting. But they said it about Layla. Like, how is she living off her dad's name? How? So when you say that, you make it like that's her intentions or she's doing something to do what? She's not drawing the comparisons. It was you guys. It was the media. It was the public. They're not, it's funny how people say these things. And it's like other people will repeat it. And I'll say, show me where she's living off her dad's shadow. She's living off his name. Show me where. How is she living off of his name? You guys are the ones bringing the fucking name up. But, anyway. So, it's not about comparing him to Shane. He will never be what his dad was. He's already 33. By the time Shane was 33, he already had losses to other top guys, but he was also already world champion, and multiple weight classes. So, it's not even fair to do that. It's just like you have LeBron James and his son Bronny. What's the purpose of comparing him to his dad? Now, if he came out of his face and said, I think I'm better than my dad, then that's him drawing that line. Or if he's coming out constantly talking about his dad and what we do, being family, that's my dad, it's a bloodline thing or whatever. Like, no. Yeah, he's not living up to the hype. Yeah, that's what you call living off the family name. You can't say Huey Fury or Tommy Fury is living off the family name because they're not really successful like that. You see what I'm saying? So when people make these claims and say things, they're just running their mouth, just talking, just saying the same goofy shit over and over. But Shane Mosley Jr., the thing is he tries, man. He's a decent fighter. He's not a bad fighter. He's a decent fighter. He's just not the best. And I don't, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just trying to picture, like, who is it that he's going to, like, who, if he gets the Lara fight and say he wins, okay, because he's campaigning at 168 pounds. Canelo would lose so much respect if he fought him, man. Because you can't tell me he deserves it. And David Morrell is there. That might be more real. That'll be more realistic. I really don't see Canelo like that. Canelo would lose a lot of respect. David Morrell is still trying to get a Canelo fight, and he's been there for a while. So I don't know, Caleb Plant, somebody else outside of Canelo, like, because Shane Mosley Jr. He doesn't deserve a title shot. He hasn't, But then again, at the same time, like I said, there's always some guys who didn't really earn a title shot. They were just given one. But I don't know what this win really does for him. Danny Jacobs, let's just be real, he hasn't been relevant in boxing for a long time. Lara, he's there. He has respect on his name, but I mean, the worst thing that could happen is he loses to Lara, to be honest with you. But if he should win, and I don't know, but that's more his speed, man. Fighting these older guys, I don't really know what it does for him. But people make storylines up in boxing. They'll create a reason for one guy to fight another. That happens all the time. But he just defeated Danny Jacobs, and Lara's the guy that's in his sights. And the crazy part about it is, I didn't even know that they fought. I didn't even know they fought. I was just looking at some other boxing that went down this past weekend, and come to find out that they fought. And I watched the highlights, and then I was able to find the fight itself, and I watched it, and he shut him out. In my opinion, I think he won every round. I think 2 of the 3 judges gave him every round. But yeah, he and you can't shoot the kid down, man. He's doing what he's capable of doing. That's all. He just wants to fight. No need to compare him to his dad. That's the problem about being the son or daughter of someone famous that's accomplished something, of a great deal. Because now everything you do, you're under the microscope. Oh, he's not like his dad. He's not like his, oh man, let him breathe, let him live, let him live. So I don't know, man. I don't hear much talk at all. Honestly, I don't ever hear anybody talk about Shane Mosley Jr. Danny Jacobs' name has always come up as a thing of the past. When it does come up, really, I haven't heard anybody talk about Danny Jacobs for a while. Only thing I've heard is people saying what happened to him because he's been MIA. And the last fight I remember seeing was 2 years ago, man, against John Ryder. And he looked bad in that fight. And it was Danny Jacobs is done. He done. And you saw what happened when Canelo fought John Ryder, right? You saw what happened when was the last guy that just fought Canelo, and he fought John Ryder. You see, and this is what I'm saying. It's like it's a good win. It's good that the fact that Shane Mosley Jr. won the fight. And there's people that still, for whatever reason, thinking Danny Jacobs is the same Danny Jacobs. But at the same time, the downside to that is that Danny Jacobs isn't the same fighter he once was, and so beating a washed up Danny Jacobs, it doesn't make you a top level guy. Now if it can get you into a bigger fight, okay, take Jaime Munguia, for example, that just fought Canelo. Maybe he gets a fight with Munguia. Maybe maybe he gets a fight with maybe he gets a fight with David Morrell. But yeah, maybe he gets a fight with Munguia, and then we can see what he looked like. He's another guy that just fought John Ryder himself. And for Shane Mosley Jr., yeah, we see what he looked like against him. If he can beat Munguia, hey, then he probably would get a David Morrell fight. He probably would get a fight with Caleb Plant. Who knows? But I think for Canelo, he needed to fight David Morrell before he fights any of these other guys. I don't understand, fighting these other guys that's not on the level, and you have, I think Benavidez needs to come back down to 168. You saw the fight that Benavidez had at 175, and his power didn't look the same. See, he's better off at 168. Now, him and Canelo will have that in common, that their best work is done at 168, right? At this point in their careers. So, I don't think he's going to stay at 175, man. I honestly, he's not strong enough to dominate at 175 like he can do at 168. And I think that, honestly, Better Biev or Bivol destroys him. I think they both destroy Benavidez. I just don't think he has enough power to keep them off. And the way he fights, it's dangerous for him. I think he's better off at 168. That's what I truly believe, that he's better off at 168. Now, will him and Shane Mosley Jr. end up fighting? I don't know. But that's for sure is that he'd have to get rid of Lara first. So we're looking at 168. It's more likely, like they try to put a fight together with him and Munguia, or, for namesake, Caleb Plant. Hey, and why not, right? Got to fight somebody. Why not? But Munguia and Morrell, yeah, we can get those fights, because I don't see him going straight to Canelo unless Canelo feel like, all right, let's make some easy money. And to be real with you, Shane Mosley Jr., like I said, he's a decent fighter, man. But in terms of elite level, that's what we have. He hasn't beaten any elite level guys, and he already has 4 losses. So at 33 years old, how much better is he going to get than what he is now? But all in a nutshell, he was supposed to beat Danny Jacobs. So yeah, I'm replacing saying it was a good win to say it was good that he won, because Jacobs is washed. So yeah, he was a former 2-time champion, just like Muhammad Ali was a former 3-time champion when he fought Trevor Berbick. When he fought Larry Holmes. So yeah, Danny Jacobs is done, man. He's done. Like, I'm just being honest about it. It's not to taint Shane Mosley Jr.'s win. It's just the reality. He beat a guy that was way past his prime. Now we can't. He's not in his prime. He took the fight. Like I said, it's not the point. The point is to boost Shane Mosley Jr. up after beating Danny Jacobs. It's like you could set him up, fatten him up for the slaughter, or set him up to where he gets these fights with bigger names, and by the time he goes to the slaughterhouse, well, he has a little bit of a reputation. So if he gets blown out, it's pretty much over for him. If he goes in there and he loses but holds his own, then hey, he just might wind up getting another fight with another top guy at 168. But hey, should he win, then hey. But that's the part where I think most of us feel like, can you see Shane Mosley Jr. beating Caleb Plant? Can you see him beating Morrell or Benavidez, who, like I said, I believe he's better off at 168. Benavidez is just not strong enough for 175, and his style of fighting, like I said, is dangerous for him because he's there to be hit. The way he fights, and at 175, his power didn't look nearly the same as it does when he's fighting at 168. Going up in weight don't make you stronger, don't make you hit harder. Now, you can become physically stronger the way you train your body, but as far as your punching power, either you can punch or you can't. And David Benavidez doesn't have devastating power. He can punch. He has good hand speed when he wants to, but he's not dominating anything at 175. So we'll see how things go. Tell me what y'all think about Shane Mosley Jr. How far do y'all think he goes? Do y'all think that he's going to lose to all the top guys? It's like, let's look. Caleb Plant, good fighter, but, former champion. But when it came to Benavidez, when it came to Canelo, he was holding his own until he gets tired. That's his biggest thing, is him getting tired. But tell me what y'all think about Shane Mosley Jr. versus the elite guys at 168. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hair to people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.